This question says, a dartboard is shown above. If square x, y, z, k, it has perimeter 64, what is the probability of a dart landing on the shaded portion of the board? So we basically want to know what is the probability of a dart landing right here. So we didn't really get into probability yet, but the probability of any event happening, so the probability of, let's just say, landing on the shaded portion, probability of any event happening is equal to the basically favorable outcome over some total, right? The total number of outcomes. So in this case, our total would be the area of the board, which is really just a square, right? And the area of the favorable outcome here would be the area of shaded region. Okay? So we need to find two things. Area of the board, which is basically just a square, and the area of the shaded region. So what are we being told? We're told that square x, y, z, k has perimeter of 64. Okay, well, this is a square, right? So if the perimeter is equal to 64, we know that the perimeter of a square is what? It's just all the side lengths added together, right? S plus S plus S is equal to 64. So 4S is equal to 64, which means each side length is equal to 16. So this is 16, this is 16, this is 16, and this is 16, right? So that means that the area of the square is basically 16 squared, right? 16 times 16, which is equal to 256. So the area of the square slash the board is equal to 256. Hopefully you guys can get that so far. So next up, what do we need to find? Well, we need to find the area of the shaded region, right? So how do we figure out what the area of this is right here? Well, if we subtracted the area of the circle from the area of the square, we would basically get the area of all of the leftover space here. And since we're only looking for one corner, we would divide it by 4, right? So let's write this out mathematically to make it a little bit easier to see. I'm gonna delete the work for the perimeter here just so we have more room. So we basically want to do this. Area of the square, we want to subtract the area of the circle, and then we want to divide it by 4. So what do we know? We know that the area of the square is equal to 256. Now, how do we find the area of the circle? Well, the area of the circle is equal to what? Pi r squared. Okay, how do I figure out what the radius is here? Well, this right here is what? The diameter, right? If that's the diameter should be the same length as y to z, right? Same length as the side length of the square, which means that the diameter is equal to 16. So the radius, we know, is half the diameter, right? So that means the radius is 8. Awesome. Now we know the area of the circle. Plug in 8 for r here. So we get pi times 8 squared. So this becomes 64 pi. And we're dividing the area of the square minus the area of the circle over 4. So 256 minus 64 pi is approximately 54.9, according to my calculator. And then we have divided by 4, right? So this is 13.73, which tells us what? 13.73 is not our final answer. That just tells us the area of this little shaded region here, right, which we need. So the area of the shaded region is equal to 13.73. Now, to find the probability of a dart landing on the shaded portion of the board, remember, we want to put the area of the shaded region, which is 13.73, over the total area of the board. Now, the total area of the board is just the total area of the square, right? So that's 256. So if you divide 13.73 over 256, you're going to get about 0.053, which is A.